What's up, Twin Cities? It's your girl, Glam Life Kim. And of course, in the building is one of my favoriteest people in the Twin Cities, and that's Mr. Anthony Taylor from the city of Minneapolis. What's up, Ant?
I am good, sis. How you doing? One of my favorites, too.
Hey, you know what? I'm doing all right considering I see snow on the ground. You know that's diabolical for me.
Yeah, that's always an issue, right? Just saying it look cute, but sometimes, driving around, it could be a little crazy.
Right.
And also, to tell you that winter is coming.
It is coming.
We know what's going on with that. So
it is. But I guess it's to be expected because Thanksgiving is tomorrow.
I know it's tomorrow. Tomorrow. You going to eat good?
Oh, my God. Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to be a fat girl for no reason.
I heard that.
For no reason.
Get your fat girl on?
Yes, please. Please. Anybody who has a plate, save it for me because I'm eating everything.
If I'm in the first, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you, bro.
So, such a beautiful thing. Minneapolis, it is Thanksgiving Eve. I know that if you are at home, there's some good smells that's going on. I know these pies is getting cranked out.
Yeah, I still got to pick my greens.
You got some work to do.
I got work to do today. I do. I got work to do today.
So save me some of them greens too.
I got you covered too, for sure. Right. And my yams. And turkey and ham. And...
Minneapolis, we making y'all hungry. Kim started it.
I'm already hungry too. This is horrible.
Welcome to Minneapolis 360, y'all. I am your host, Anthony Taylor. Always my pleasure and blessing to come to you every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. Minneapolis 360 is such a beautiful thing. And it is important just to say this to everybody. Hug someone if you can today. Be thankful that you are still around, that you woke up this morning. Life is not promised to you. Right. Thanksgiving has been one of always my favorite holidays. Not only the food, the football, but it's the family.
Yes.
Right? It's a family, being able to be around people. I think that's important. So happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Anybody see me around this weekend, I'm still taking sweet potato pie orders. So if somebody didn't get theirs, call me. I'll come and pick it up. So
I love it.
Minneapolis, it is wintertime, and I got a guest to come on today to talk about heat resources, right? So if there's low heat, no heat, and your landlord, it's some requirements. I got a person who's been on our show several times to talk about what you can do to provide yourself with some rights, right? So if there's some resources or people you can call, it's important. Knowing your rights is something that I think is huge. And a lot of times I think there are some out here, and we know it's some landlords that aren't always on the up and up, right? And we know that if you haven't been in that situation, you know somebody that's been in that situation. I think it's important, right? And it's going to get cold, y'all. I mean, let's be real. We say it's cold, but this is nothing.
Man, it isn't. I mean, it's chilly.
It's chilly, but it ain't cold.
It's not cold.
Right? Yeah. So when it get cold, and you ain't got no heat, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
So I want to bring in a good friend of mine, Donald Brown, housing liaison for the city of Minneapolis. One of my favorite people in the city. I've known this brother for a long time and respect his work and his team's work. Brother Donald, welcome to Minneapolis 360. For the 8th time?
Donald.
How you doing, bro?
What's going on, big bro? What's up, sis? How y'all doing?
Good.
All is well. Anytime you breathe, you win it.
Oh, where? Oh, man. Yeah, no. Hey.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this cold weather? That's the question.
That's the question.
So, I'm a fall baby, so I can adapt. It's cool. It's the snow and ice that gets me. The cold I can deal with.
100%, Donald, and thank you, man. I appreciate you taking some time away from your family, man, to come on, man. It's always appreciated that you're here. Donald, man, reintroduce yourself, man, in Minneapolis. Tell people what you do, man. Who is Donald Brown?
Oh, well, I'm just your local neighborhood housing liaison. No, but no, I've been with the city of Minneapolis. I'm a housing liaison with the city. Been with the city for about 18 years now, currently working with the housing liaison team within regulatory services. And so our team is just designed to try to help inform, educate, empower residents, renters, to let them know of what their rights are, and inform people is a powerful people. And so our job is to connect you all with resources, with the information that you need to know that even though you may not own property, you still have a voice and your rights. You still have rights in your situation, and we want to make sure we're connecting you with that information and also providing you with the next steps you need to protect you and your family, especially during cold times. When it's freezing outside. You know what I'm saying? And so That's what we strive to do.
Yeah, absolutely, Donald. I'm glad you said that. One of the things I think is important is to break down like housing liaison, right? And how you feel about just working with people, like some of the rewarding things that you've seen throughout your time here in the city being a housing liaison.
Housing liaison is definitely rewarding because we basically are advocates. We're the voice of people who feel like they don't have a voice, and so when they're running up against complex housing situations and they're dealing with the city government or dealing with city officials, and they may not understand or be able to interpret what it is that they that's on black and white. We're the ones that come in to help advocate for them, fight for them, to be their voice in difficult situations. And so some of the things that we've seen families who are being faced with potential evictions or being faced with retaliatory actions from their property owner. We've come in the scene to be able to connect them with free legal services, be able to provide them with resources to help better their housing experience, and make sure that they are in safe, livable spaces. Our number one priority is safety, is life safety. And we want to make sure that even though, families are, that them and their families are definitely covered and provided for in these times that we're in right now. So it's definitely being able to connect with them like that.
Talking with Donald Brown, City of Minneapolis Housing Liaison. Donald, I think it's important, right? So we can joke around about snow, right? We can understand that. We say, I don't like snow. I like snow. I want to go sledding. I want to stay in the house. I ain't coming outside till spring. It's all those issues, right, that you could be able to understand how you do weather, right? So when we specifically talk about this time of year, I think it's important to talk about some of the things that you've seen. What are some of the major issues that you've seen when wintertime comes and people kind of struggle through some things? Tell us about that, Donald.
Some of the struggles that we've seen is that you have families that they're living in spaces where they don't have enough heat. They don't have adequate heat to be able to, maintain, be able to live in, and they, find other ways of heating up their properties that should not be the case, in time. Of course, we as a people, we're going to do what we have to do in order to survive, right? And so there's been times we've seen families try to heat their whole house with a gas stove, use space heaters, electric blankets, and things like that, to be able to accommodate them and their families, which is not sufficient enough. It's not safe. And so anytime that they've been dealing with situations like that and they reach out to our team, we try to come in to investigate. We work in partnership with the inspection services team to make sure that that property owner is being held responsible to be providing sufficient heat for residents during this time, because there's an adequate temperature level that needs to be adhered to throughout this time frame. You know what I'm saying? And we have to make sure that that's being done. Yeah,
100%, Donald. And thank you for that, because and you're so right. Like, we got to do what we got to do to heat our house and our family, and sometimes it's just not safe, right, Kim? We've seen that.
Yeah, we've done it. We didn't put the oven, turn the oven on, put the lid down, and let it heat the house.
100%, and let it go. And that's not safe, because you talk about maybe the carbon monoxide that comes out of that too. Donald, you brought up a real good point about space heaters, and before we get to kind of the rules that the landlords do or need, right, and some of the resources, just talk about some of the do's and don'ts with like space heaters, right? Because one of the things that hurts my heart is out here that there's a house fire and people got killed, right? And then you investigate, and all of a sudden it's a faulty space heater, right? And then something like that. So give us maybe just some do's and don'ts. Are there some quality space heaters that people can buy that wouldn't put them at risk?
You always want to make sure that when it comes to space heaters, nowadays technology has been far more advanced than when we were coming up, right? And so a lot of the space heaters that you're running into now, they have safety mechanisms on them. If they get too warm, they shut off. Or if they get tipped over, there's a mechanism at the bottom of them where it automatically disconnects it and it kills the heat, so that way it doesn't cause any fires or can't no one get harmed by them. If you have little children, while it's on, make sure they're staying away from it, because some things do get hot, and we don't want anyone to get burned or have any severe injuries. And so the main thing is to make sure that you are using them when you need them. Don't overuse them. Don't leave them on when unattended. Make sure that you're doing your due diligence to keep your family safe. Keep them in a safe distance. Put them like off in a corner, point it in the middle of the room to blow into the space, so that way it can provide you with some sufficient heat. And just most importantly, just make sure if you get the small kids, animals, just keep them away while they're yet running and you're there. Don't never leave them unattended, if at all.
Appreciate that. Talking with Donald Brown, Housing Liaison, City of Minneapolis. Donald, you talked about this too, right? There are some rules I think people need to understand, and I'd love for you to kind of get into that, right? You say there's 68 degrees. I think the landlord must keep that temperature regulated at all time. Donald, kind of dig into that a little bit, and what should people like know about that? Are there some rights or there's some resources that I need to know if my landlord is like tripping, like dude, I'll never mess with my heat, right? So
absolutely. In the city of Minneapolis, we have there's this thing called a low heat, no heat ordinance, meaning that rental property owners must have heating systems that work properly and safely, right? They must be able to keep the indoor temperature between at 68 degrees. That starts October 1st to April the 30th. You have to have a minimum housing heating allotment of 68 degrees at a minimum throughout the house. And so if that's not taking place, if it's below that, way below that, then you need to make sure that your first thing is to contact the property owner and let them know. If they're unresponsive, then your job is then to notify the city, so we then can take the necessary actions to come out, validate those concerns, and then hold the property owner accountable to make sure that they're providing you sufficient heat, right? Because there is a cold weather rule where you're in Minnesota, where you have to have that heat going on between the dates that I mentioned, October 1st to April 30th, but then also that your utilities should not be cut off. And I mean like your gas or your heating, that's what your electric and your gas company. You can call them, you can let them know, hey, I need to get on the payment plan, so that way you don't have to deal with that loss of necessity during these difficult times, and your heating company will work with you, get that established, and make sure that you and your families have that heat throughout the winter season.
And Donald, thank you. I want to follow up with you on that, because there's a lot of misconceptions with that cold weather rule, right? Just because, October 1st come until April 30th, that don't mean I just can't not pay my bill, right? So talk a little bit about that.
So when it comes to, I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. Repeat that one more time.
Just talk about call the utility company, make a payment plan. You just can't say, well, okay, October 1st, I ain't just going to pay my bill until springtime, right, Donald? Right.
So when you call this is not a bailout plan or for you to take the money and go ahead and, do something else with, but this is the time for you to have that conversation with them, letting them know your situation financially, and then work with them on a payment arrangement. That does not mean that you are to not pay until the spring, but work out a payment plan that works with your budget to get you to the point, to get you through this season. So if that means that if your typical bill is $150 a month, you're saying, hey, I can't do that, but am I able to at least pay a portion of that from now until then in order to get caught back up to maintain your heating equipment? You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to just not pay. You want to make sure you're working with them on what works best for you and also with their systems, but they can't cut you off between these months because of the cold weather rule that's in place for Minnesota.
Yeah, so you can't provide your own stimulus package. Is that what you're saying,
no
Donald?
bailout plan.
Exactly. Can't do that.
Okay, I mean, and it's important, Minneapolis, to understand that. And I asked that because there's been a lot of misconceptions around that. So appreciate you saying that, Donald. So if I need to take some legal action, right? Now, okay, you talked about it. My landlord, I got these requirements. We know these rules, right? Now, it's still not right. What are how can I get some help with that, Donald? What's my legal rights, and how can I find that?
Well, if you, in order for you to get connected with free legal services, you can connect with our housing liaison team. You can reach out to us either by contacting 311, and they will put you in contact with us, or you can, for those that have email capability, you can reach out to our email address at housing liaisons at cityofminneapolis.mn.gov, and you'll be able to get to us. So that way we'll be able to connect you with those free legal services, because the services that we provide are free of charge. We'll get you connected to legal aid, home line, volunteer lawyers network to make sure that you have the appropriate legal options that you need that best fit your situation. You know what I'm saying? So by calling 311 and requesting to speak to a liaison to get access to those free legal services, we'll be able to connect you with them to make sure that you all have the appropriate resources necessary.
Talking with Donald Brown, Housing Liaison, City of Minneapolis. I think it's an important topic that we're talking about here, Donald. And one of the things I'd love for you to talk about too is just your team, right? Like, what are y'all foundational principles and values, right? Because you're out there in community, right? You understand that everybody is in different situations. Like, talk to people like what it takes to really build relationships with people and how important that is for you and your work.
That's good.
Absolutely. Our team is comprised of is a team of 6, including our wonderful manager, Demetrius Walker. We're spread out throughout the city, and so we just recently went into what we call districts or precincts, meaning that we have one liaison assigned to each district of the city. The city is broken up into 5 precincts, which you have the downtown district, which is the first precinct, northeast, southeast, that's the second precinct. And then we have Southwest, which is the 5th, and then over in Southeast, the South area is that's precinct 3, and then over North we have is precinct 4. And so all 5 of us are broken up into those quadrants of the city. And so we basically, our job is 95%, we say 95% communal, which involves us being out in community. We come to the open streets, we come to community events, we partner with, different neighborhood organizations to see how we can get our information out to the community to make sure that they are empowered and educated on our services and what their rights are. You know what I'm saying? Most of the times we go to these spaces, people don't know that we're here, that we're there. And so we want to make sure that they know that we're yet live, we're let vibrant, and we're present to be a help to them and their families, especially when they're running into complex housing situations. And so that's our main focus. Our work is we try to humanize the process, meaning that we don't deal with the black and white. We deal with the person that's in front of us. We want to make sure, and we realize that there's people that are being impacted that are suffering behind some of the orders and things that are being written up against them, or violations and things the property owner may not be doing. And so we want to deal with the individual, pull back those layers, really find out and get below the surface as far as what we can do to help improve their living situation, taking the time necessary, and we work with our different partners, external and internal, to come to that resolution, making sure that we can get compliance at all costs.
And thank you for that too, Donald. I'm glad you said that, man. And you said some key words like humanizing and just making sure this is not black and white. This is about people in relationships.
It is, and he definitely kept that voice. It was like you just wanted to listen. He needs to be speaking and running for mayor or something because he definitely caught our attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, Donald.
The main thing is we want to make sure that people know we're very transparent in our approach. We want to make sure that everyone knows, that the people that we're dealing with, the residents that we're dealing with, that they understand the entire process. So we establish expectations. We let them know who their point of contacts are. And like one of our colleagues, oftentimes we try to shorten the distance. We don't shorten the gap, the communication gap, in bridging a workable relationship. We don't want to put people in the social service runaround. We don't want them just to go and call 800 numbers or call these blanket numbers, but we're trying to connect you with actual live body people that we've built relationship with, that we've connected with, that we know that's going to provide you with resources and help when you pick up that phone and call, especially when you let them know I've been referred by the housing liaison team. They already know when you say that, hey, make sure you work with them, make sure you're assisting them, because our reputation is on the line. You know what I'm saying? And we're real big on our integrity, being integral as we approach different situations.
Yeah, Brother Donald, like you got 2 votes for mayor, man, over here.
You hear the passion, don't you? I know there's got to be a story behind like why you chose to do this job, because I can hear the passion in it. Go ahead and give us the story.
Well, anyone that knows me, I'm a people person. And so I just love to build relationships. Since I've been with the city of Minneapolis, most of my career has been front facing, dealing with people. And so I'm just a helper to my heart. I try to help where I can. try to encourage where needed, and just make sure people are empowered and educated most time and informed, because most time people don't know what they don't know. But once you show them, once you reveal to them the options, the information, then they will be able to improve their situation. And so you just can't, fault a person for what they don't know. And so I want to take the stance of just being in a position to educate and inform and help where I can, to be able to help people improve their day to day, And so, and oftentimes, do unto others as you want done to me. If I'm in a situation, I want someone to help me genuinely, not looking down at me, not treating me or mistreating me or making me feel bad, but I want to be able to help where I can genuinely from an authentic place, and so I try to extend that in every interaction that I come across.
Yeah,
good job.
And it comes through, and Kim, you hearing that too, like you hear that and appreciate that too, because one of the things I think is important, like all of our roles in this world is to help others, right? In some type of way, right? Not subtract, but add to people, right? And you dealing with people sometimes, Donald, in their worst times, right? And understanding too, like, my landlord is tripping. Will I get retaliated, against if I report this? And how do you come at that angle? I think is important. And you and your team does a great job in doing that. And I just want to ask you this too, because Kim talked about your passion, right? And being a helper. And you talked about how important that is to you. Is it a sense that you feel like that's a duty for you, Donald?
I think it's a responsibility, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're in positions that we're in, that I'm fortunate to be in, you have to take this into a sense of, why am I here? You know what I'm saying? And if I've been put in this role, been fortunate and blessed enough to be in this position, it's not always about a paycheck, but it's about trying to make sure that you're utilizing your abilities and your skills and your resources to be able to help other people that are less fortunate or in other situations less than you, right? And so with that being said, I'm going to do my due diligence to make sure at a minimum that I'm representing them well in my approach. It's not about me. I don't need no pat on the back. I don't need no spotlight to say, oh, you did this. The main objective is that person getting the help that they need. And or at all costs, making sure that I exhaust all of my resources to try to assist them. That's something that helps me be able to say, okay, you know what I'm saying? I know I did everything I possibly could, even if it didn't work out the way I wanted to see it work out, or they wanted it to work out. At least every avenue, no stone was left unturned.
Talking with Donald Brown, Housing Liaison, City of Minneapolis. No heat, low heat resources. Who you can contact in case you need some information. Can we always talk about 311? It's the perfect place always. Right, to find out that information, that question, right? So, Donald, I'm glad you said that. As we run up against the clock, Donald, what is your main takeaways that you want folks to leave with today for our conversation?
The main takeaways is this. As a renter, understand you have rights. You have a voice. I don't care what your property owner has tried to threaten you with, what they tried to scare you with, what they tried to come and, use scare tactics. Understand you have a voice, you have rights. And there is a team of individuals that are here, equipped and ready to fight with you and for you to make sure that your voice is being heard. Not only being heard, but making sure that you're informed and you're equipped with the tools necessary to move forward and fight forward against property owners who don't want to do their jobs. And so making sure that you all can reach us at any point in time. The numbers that are on our business cards are not numbers to death. Those are our cell phone numbers. We're out in the field. We're out and about. You'll get to us. You can text us, email us, call us, however you need to, in order to get your situation resolved or addressed. And so, what I want people to understand is making sure you're utilizing your resources available to you. If you're not getting the answers that you need or the response you're needing from your property owner, call Minneapolis 311. Let them know I need to speak to a housing liaison. I have this issue at my house. I need to have an inspector come out and take a look and see what's going on. And they will connect you with to us so we can make sure that we are that your situation is getting resolved.
Thank you, Donald. I appreciate you being here, man. And like I had to, this question was what I want to ask you is like really important, and I forgot to like get to. So I need you to just bear with me for a second because I forgot to ask you, bro. Like your top 2 must-have for Thanksgiving, man. I need to hear your top 2 Thanksgiving must-have. Donald, let me know.
For me, I'm going to have to say baked macaroni and cheese and them greens. I'm sorry. It's what it is. I'm going to bake macaroni and cheese and them collard greens. I need it. It's a must.
Yeah, I need that in my life too. You know what I'm saying? So
someone's calling. Should we see?
Yeah.
We could try it. KMOJ, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Pat, and I'm calling from North Minneapolis. I kind of caught the tail end of your heating and electrical fires for the winter during heating season, but I didn't hear him say anything about electrical extension cords. Did he say something about them?
No, but you know what? Do you want to go ahead and speak on that, Brandon?
But I
Donald,
really
I'm sorry,
would like
Donald.
to. May I say something?
Of course.
The thing I want to mention is a lot of people will use those very small electrical extension cords, and there's like 14 gauge, 12 gauge, and 10 gauge wiring setups, right. And people need to use like the thicker gauge, like the 12 gauge wire electrical extension cords. And you can tell you're using the wrong one because they heat up really fast. Even the thicker ones will. But people need to know not to use those ones you hook up to your Christmas trees or, lighting. You know what I mean? That could be a problem too. I just thought they should mention that for sure. Because those will melt and then they they catch on fire.
Yes, thank you so much for mentioning that. And the main purpose, of this call too is just to make sure that people understand that they can get some assistance and that they have a resource, if their heat is out or just, anything is happening that the landlord isn't taking care of. But we definitely appreciate that tidbit because that's a gem that people need to know about. We need to remind them. Actually, I just had an incident in my apartment building. What was that yesterday? Someone woke up at 3:30 in the morning to the fire alarm saying a fire's been reported in the building. You got to go outside. Don't take the elevator. Walk down the steps. And someone had forgot. I guess they had pots and pans or something inside their oven, and they went to turn the oven on. And he said when he came, he saw it smoking. He said he went to open it up, and it was a big flame. Yep. And so just that simple little things.
Absolutely. Because little stuff like this, it's the details, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the electrical extension cords are crucial. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Donald, you still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
All right. Hey, listen, bro, I want to appreciate you for coming on. Happy Thanksgiving, man, to you and your family. Peace and blessings, man, and we'll talk soon, bro.
Absolutely. You all take care. Be blessed.
Thank you so much, Donald.
And that was Donald Brown, housing liaison. A lot of good tips, Minneapolis. And I think it's important just to make sure that anytime you have any questions, call 311. Make sure that you're doing the right thing. We know about these extension cords and leaving the gas on and space heaters. Just be careful because the last thing you want to do is put your family in jeopardy. And again, Minneapolis, if I haven't said it already, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, Kim, you as well.
You too.
What's your top 2 must-haves?
Oh my God.
I forgot about you.
Look, actually, this Thanksgiving, I want some ribs. So,
wow.
Right.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. So I got one of my friends. She great with grilling ribs. I'm like, can you, go ahead and grill me up a slab? But I'm going to make some ham, some turkey, macaroni and cheese. I'm doing some mac and cheese, some yams and some greens. And oh my God.
Yeah. I heard that.
I'm ready for it. I just want to be a fat girl.
Hungry.
Yes.
Hungry.
Mm-hmm. What about you? What's your top?
I gotta have some dressing.
Okay.
Everybody's top 2 is kind of the same with macaroni, but man, my biscuits, man, I need some rolls.
Yeah, Hawaiian rolls.
Hawaiian rolls.
Hawaiian rolls.
I can't. It's a must have.
It's a must-have.
If it ain't brought, I'm going to get it. So
Right.
that's a beautiful thing. So happy
Yes.
Thanksgiving to you and yours too.
You too.
You know, be blessed.
Yes,
Always
absolutely.
good to see you.
You as well. You going to see family?
I'm gonna be around. I'm
Okay,
gonna be
good.
around.
Yeah, because the weather is kind of
and you know, I'm gonna get my fat boy on too.
Okay,
You know
that's what I'm
saying?
talking about.
And
Let's
I
go.
can sleep in my own bed.
That part.
Hey, come on now.
And watch the. I'm ready to watch Christmas movies.
Hey, all that.
All
All
right,
that.
let's do it. All right, Twin Cities, we're going to get back into the tunes. May you all have a very, very, very happy Thanksgiving. One love, kings and queens. Until next time.